So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you watching this and joining the conversation. Just let me start this out by saying I have for so long always been very curious. And the way that I work, hey Ryan, is I have to understand the why behind the reason that I do things if I expect to change it. So in the past, when there were things in my life or things about me that I wanted to change, I would always say in my head that I was getting ready to get ready. Like I always knew I wasn't quite there yet. And what I didn't know how to describe then is how I would describe now as needing to have more understanding of why I was doing the things that I did so that I could stop doing them and replace them with something else. So how I learned to trust myself. So this whole conversation, right? If our thoughts really create our reality, then how do we create new ones if we've always been stuck in the same story, right? So let me give you an example. Hey Mitchell, thanks for hopping on. So in my old business, in my previous business, before the one that I have now, I didn't get the results that I wanted. And so for a very long time, hi Kelsey, what's up girl, how are you? So for a very long time, I let that define what my new business was going to look like. And that's really just called reality and being cognizant of shit that's already gone down. And I do think that there is an importance and a benefit to that in business, right? Because you do have to kind of look at like why shit didn't work if you want to get better, right? And to reassess things and move forward. So it's a natural instinct that I think does serve us, but it can also make us stay stuck. It can also make us self-sabotage and subconsciously F things up or keep us from getting what we want, or we basically recreate the same problems that we had. Have you ever gone from relationship to relationship and like the person had a different face and name but the same shit came up? So that just means that you have some rewiring to do or some reframing to do. So I'm going to talk about, I feel like I've gone in and out of this. When I first got in touch with this more deeply and I guess started understanding, I'm like trying to open this water bottle and I obviously am struggling. Hang on a second. Okay. And was probably, it was back in September, but more consistently, and I started kind of grasping it more religiously and consistently this winter. And then I got in my car accident and I was traveling a lot and I took myself out of alignment. Because what happened is I started assessing where I was at instead of staying so certain and where I was going and what I deserved and just staying in that knowing that I was gonna fucking get it no matter what, right? So that's what alignment is. Alignment is knowing and living in your truth, even if your outer world doesn't quite reflect that yet, and still holding that vibe and holding that certainty while you're pursuing it, no matter what comes up. So you don't recognize failure, right? And so, yeah. So anyway, there's certain things in my business and certain habits that I've had that have obviously not served me very well, like not following through with things, not completing things, not being consistent, like maybe one day working my business really well and then I'll take like 3 days off where I just don't feel like it or I just don't feel motivated. And really what I've come to know and what I've come to realize so much is that if you don't believe that you can have something, and on a subconscious level, and we're going to talk about ways that I train my subconscious that I didn't totally believe in, to be honest, but I've been doing it consistently, and now today I'm like, holy crap, this stuff works. I get why it works, and so now I get to use it every day and really leverage it, right? And get more of what I want and help other people get more of what I want. So I'm kind of all over the place. I'm trying to get this out because it's definitely a heady topic. So sometimes it's hard for me to articulate exactly what I'm trying to say, but when it comes to topics like this, but I'll get it out, I promise. So, yeah, so with like the consistency or not following through with things, let's go back to the like cycle of things. Like your thought creates your belief affects the action that you take, and the action affects exactly the results that you get or don't get in your life, in any area of your life, in relationships, with your finances, whether you're going to school, anything that you're manifesting, right? And so if our thoughts create our beliefs, let's break down each of these parts, and that's what this live is going to be about. So if our thoughts create our beliefs, then how do you grab a new thought when you've never been consistent at something? Or when you're only, see, humans, what we do is, what our brains do is we go through the filing cabinets of things that have happened to us and our past experiences. And our brain only knows how to do that. And that's how we draw conclusions. And that's often how we project things into our life. And what happens when we pull from old experiences is we just keep recycling the same experiences over and over again, because we aren't changing them and we aren't choosing a different thought. We're not grabbing a different thought because our brain isn't set on it isn't set on that. It isn't made to do that, right? It's not an automatic thing. So you have to, that's what we're doing, right? We have to go in there and basically interrupt the pattern and change the script. So, yeah, what ends up happening is you end up projecting things that you've experienced, all that you know to be true, and wonder why the hell nothing is changing. Even if you're working on yourself, even if you're like working really hard, even if you're hustling, you're grinding, you're staying up late, you're pulling all-nighters, like, yo, this was me. This is what I was doing, and I was like, why am I not making any money yet? Why am I still broke? I don't understand. I'm doing the same things, essentially. But if your thoughts aren't consistent in this type of vibration of the new thing you're creating, the new thing that you're manifesting, the new relationship you're manifesting, the new business, the new amount of money that you've never had, then it's, whether you see it or not, how you show up is going to be affected. The way you work is going to look different, and people can feel that, right? So we're talking about energy right now. So energy is everything. So if you agree, drop a 3 in the comments below if energy is everything, if you get what I'm throwing down. If I sound like a crazy person, don't put anything in the comments. You can just leave or laugh amongst your friends, whoever you're watching this with. Oh, this might be bad. So if this is making sense so far, then drop a 3, give me some heart bombs. So how do we grab a new thought? So there's a couple of things. So a belief is just a thought that you've thought over and over and over and over and over again. So if we want to interrupt the script and we want to change the pattern, then we have to train our subconscious to automatically, without too much force, because that would take way too much effort, and I'm not about exerting too much effort. I mean, I am, but we'll get to that part in a second when we talk about action. When it comes to thinking, we want to do it on a subconscious level, and we want it to be easy, right? Like, one of the things that I always say is I choose for this to be easy. You know, like when I just did my 60-hour fast or reboot, I was like, I choose for it to be easy this time. And I get to let it be easy, right? And I say that over and over, like everywhere I go. And okay, we'll get into that in a little bit. So one of the things that I've done is and you might need more work. Let me just say that first off, like, this might not do it for you, okay? But it's a taste. And so overall, all in all, we need to have patience while we're learning this, because you might have to go to a few seminars. You might have to read some more books on this. You might have to tune into my lives every day. I don't know, right? You might have to get around other people who are thinking like this, who are holding this kind of energy for you, who can maybe even reflect certain things back to you and let you see things and help bring awareness to your blind spots for you. But what I've been doing recently is I write down my goals every single day as if they've already happened, right? I am a self-made millionaire. I am so grateful for my collection of Chanel bags. I am so grateful that I've helped 5 women create $2,000 of extra supplemental income every single month. I am so grateful that I'm able to buy plane tickets for my teammates and fly them to events if they need help, if they've been working hard. I am so grateful that I can take care of my grandparents. I'm so grateful that I can go out to eat with my family and be like, order whatever you want. It's okay, like I'll get it. Or I'm so grateful that I, what are some other ones? I'm so grateful that I weigh blah, 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 or I'm so grateful that I'm a size blah, 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 whatever it is that you're manifesting. And I'm not kidding, I don't miss a day. And that's been something that was different for me, but I understand the power of it now, and I didn't do it consistently because I didn't totally believe that it would work. But here's the thing, if your subconscious sees something in wordings, and the subconscious loves hearing things in present form, not I want or I need to make $10,000 a month, or I desire. Like, desiring is a great word, but if you write it in the tense that you already have it, your subconscious starts to think that you already have it. And then what happens when you're moving throughout the world and you're going throughout your day, your brain, this is just what your brain does automatically, starts looking for signs of how it can bring that into fruition. It'll do it automatically. So hashtag life hack, I'm all about that, right? Less effort, less work. If you tell me all I have to do is write down my goals in present tense every single day and then read them and actually feel them like it's actually happening. So if it's a goal that you can't energetically get behind, maybe knock it down a little bit, right? Maybe, I'm so grateful I made $50,000 on my online business this year. Whatever it is for you, whatever the next thing is for you. I don't think it's, for me, it feels good to go big because I can energetically get behind that. So if you've been trying to manifest a certain amount of money and it's not working, maybe you just need to pick a bigger number, right? Maybe you just need to skip that number altogether. So you don't have to go from one step to the next, right? You can just skip it altogether if that's what you choose. It's whatever you choose. It's whatever you can get behind. It's whatever you can believe fully and what you can write down every day and feel. So I also have this giant vision board, which is right behind me. I'm not going to show you everything that's on it, but every morning I put it somewhere so every morning I see it when I wake up. Where it's not in some notebook hidden, it's not on some calendar, it's not on some file in my Google Drive that I look at, once a year come New Year's Day. Like, I see it first thing when I wake up in the morning, and it's written in present tense. Like, I'm so grateful, or I have earned X amount of money, or I am etc. So I see that every single day. And what's happened is I believe it. And I don't know why, but you don't have to know why. Like, that's not your job. Your job isn't to know how. I mean, why do I believe it? Because I also, one of my beliefs is that I get to have whatever I want. I get to have whatever I desire. I get to have what I show up for. I get to have what I continuously think about. I know that for sure, right? And so why do I believe that those things are going to happen? Because my brain sees it every single day, and I can't explain how it's going to happen. But what's really rad is that the universe starts showing me how. It's like, yo, here's that thing you wrote down, that team you want to build in Hong Kong. Here's a connection in Hong Kong. That team you want to build in Australia. Here's a customer who's probably going to lead you to more customers in Australia. And I'm just like, and then I just get to sit back and be in awe of how the universe works. So as I'm moving towards something, the universe is at equally or greater speed bringing all of that to me. And as long as I just get to stay in the vibration of feeling good, because law of attraction, like attracts like. If I dip down one day and I'm like, this business is gonna never work, this online thing is never gonna work, who am I to, do Facebook Lives, and who am I to sell ketones on the internet? Like, no one's gonna want to do anything with me. It stops the momentum. And again, it's okay, because anytime the momentum stops, that's what we call contrast. So anytime anything that happens in your life that you don't want, that isn't desirable, a breakup, something bad, someone says something mean to you, you getting fired, rejection, failure, whatever it is, that's contrast. And I've chose to be extremely grateful for contrast, because contrast shows me what I don't want. Contrast shows me what I don't desire. Contrast shows me where I'm not ever going to stay in my life. Without knowing those things, without having things that I don't want or that doesn't serve me, like not following through with things, not completing things, then I don't get to honor the habits and the things that do serve me as well. I don't get to be as grateful for them. And I'm all about the highs of life, right? So I don't want to diminish the high of anything that I could potentially experience. So I choose to be grateful for all the bullshit. And I choose to be grateful for all the bullshit I am responsible for, that I've put myself for, that I chose. And I also know that I chose those things for a reason, and that there was a timing for everything. And that you can't just have everything you want and just get out of your own way immediately, because the work is so rad. The work is so cool. Witnessing all of the miracles, miracles are totally normal and it happen every single day. And I don't just expect them, I rely on them. And I think that's from Gabby Bernstein or Yogi, I don't know his last name or his name, but right? So it's like the law of expectancy. What you expect, you get. And so anyway, does anyone have any questions on this? I think this is making sense so far. We're at 18 minutes. Hi everyone. Hey Jay, what's up? Can you not see me? Hey Hillary. What's up, girl? So yeah, that's how I chose to, oh, I know, I'm very tan. I'm actually burnt, but we can call it a tan. Thanks, girl. Okay, David says, wouldn't the idea you are talking about is having an outer purpose and defining your own purpose, which would create self-direction and the idea of positive, negative energy in the way it, what you draw, positive attracts positive, something like that. Hi, Sammy. Hi, Amber, I guess. So yeah, let me read that again. So, okay, so the other thing too is that, so as I'm retraining my subconscious, which is automatically changing my belief system, which automatically makes me hustle harder and automatically makes me take the right action. I get really fucking creative when I'm in this energy. I blow my own mind on a daily basis, minute by minute, just by being in this space and holding this energy. And so yeah, I just know like the right thing to do or like the right way to market, and also I'm always a student, and that's what's so fun is that I'm always learning, and I also know I don't know everything, and that's fun too, because progress is happiness, right? Progress is happiness. So also I wanted to talk about while you're on this journey, learn to practice posture even before you feel it. And so posture, hi Seth, hey Megan, is, and this is from Ray Higdon. Ray Higdon says this: posture is internal acceptance, or internal acceptance without outward, or internal, what is it, Hillary? I know you're on here. Help me. I could make something up, but I want to say the real one. Are you still watching? Internal acceptance without outward acceptance of what you're doing. You know what I mean? So it just makes you bulletproof. That's what posture is just having that certainty. Like, I don't care if you make fun of me. I don't care if you say that I'm in a pyramid scheme. I don't care if you don't want to drink ketones. Like, I have internal acceptance of what I do and who I am. And so, and I also don't expect people to say that to me necessarily. So I don't get a lot of those types of objections very often. Once in a while I do, but I don't expect people to not want to do what I'm doing because I have so much internal acceptance. Does this make sense? So therefore people feel that energy, they feel that certainty. And hey Brandon, and when you're showing up and consistently doing things like that, people want to know like what people might want to be a part of what you're doing, especially if you're busy all the time and you're not desperate for anything. Because that's not gonna attract anything if you're always clinging to everything and having this like needy, desperate thing going on. So that's the first half. We should probably do a second half. And the second half will be about your actions and results. And I've learned some new techniques, and we'll get more into if you're, I don't know what we'll talk about. We'll figure it out. But we'll talk more about actions and results and how the law of attraction and the different laws of the universe come into it and how it can serve you. So basically, everything that's happened up to now has a purpose. Your contrast, your habits that haven't served you have happened for a reason, so that you know what you don't want, and know that it was supposed to happen, and know that that doesn't, you know, just because that's the only thing that your brain can pull from because it's past experience, you can actually reach for a new thought. You can write down your goals every single day, read them as if they're currently present, and project a new reality into the world, and just stay patient as fuck and stay happy as fuck and feeling really, really good. And then eventually your outer world will start catching up with all this inner work that you're doing. So I hope this helps, and I love you so much. Thanks for watching.